All right, let's jump right in. When you think about a broadcast studio, what comes to mind? Probably the cameras, the bright lights, the people on screen, right? But the real star of the show, the unsung hero, is actually the room itself. It's this incredibly specialized, super engineered space that's built for one single purpose: absolute perfection, even when the pressure is on. And just so you know, what we're covering here is part 4 of a big 40-part series on modern broadcast studios. It's all brought to us by Virtualization Options LLC. Okay, so let's get back to what makes these rooms so special. So you see a picture like this, a production control room. And yeah, it totally looks like a command center. You've got walls of monitors, all these complex controls. But what you can't see is what really makes it one of the most meticulously engineered places you can imagine. What's hiding in the walls, the power system, and even in the air itself. Now, for anyone with an IT background, here's the thing that'll really click. The biggest difference isn't the gear and the racks. It's the absolutely relentless, totally unforgiving demand of operating in real time. There's no safety net, no we'll fix it in post. When you're live, you're live. The pressure is just always on. A really great way to think about this is to compare it to a standard IT data center. Sure, they've got some things in common: server rooms, network layouts, backup plans, but a studio's requirements are on a whole other level. An IT data center might schedule a maintenance window to work on its cooling. In a broadcast facility, no way. That cooling system needs immediate failover. And needing to get in there 24/7, that's not a convenience, it's an absolute necessity. So how in the world do they pull this off? Well, it all comes down to what you might call an invisible architecture. We're talking about fundamental engineering that's literally woven into the fabric of the building, all designed for one thing: perfect quality and rock-solid reliability. And this architecture is built on 4 key pillars. First, you've got acoustic treatment, which is all about controlling sound. Second, there's RF shielding to block out invisible interference. Third are the environmental controls, for temperature and humidity. And finally, the big one, a power infrastructure that simply cannot be allowed to fail. Let's break these down, because these pillars aren't just features on a checklist. They're the broadcast's life support systems. And this is where we really start to see how a studio goes way beyond the specs of even a high-end data center. Okay, first up, acoustic treatment. Now, this isn't just about sticking some foam on the walls to soundproof a room. It's a whole science. It's about designing the space to control exactly how sound behaves, taming every reflection, killing any weird echo, and sealing the room off from every single outside noise. And something as simple looking as this acoustic foam plays a massive role. It's a physical tool designed to literally soak up sound energy. It converts that sound into tiny amounts of heat, and that's what stops those distracting echoes that can make your audio sound messy and just unprofessional. The goals here are super specific. You have to stop sound from bouncing off flat walls. You need to control the reverb time so the room doesn't sound like you're in a giant bathroom. You've got to completely isolate the studio from a truck driving by or a plane flying overhead, and you have to make sure sound isn't leaking from one studio into the one next door. Next, we have the invisible shield. That's RF shielding. Basically, you're using conductive materials inside the walls to create a protective bubble. Why? Well, everything from a nearby cell tower to a flickering fluorescent light can create electronic noise that can cause total chaos with sensitive broadcast gear and just wreck your signal. Let's circle back to that data center comparison, but this time, let's talk about keeping things cool. All that broadcast equipment generates a ton of heat, but unlike a data center, which might survive a cooling glitch for a little while, broadcast systems can overheat and fail in a matter of minutes. That's why having redundant HVAC with automatic instant failover isn't a luxury. It's absolutely mission critical. And holding all of this up is the power infrastructure. Think of it as a defense in depth against any kind of outage. You start with isolated technical power that keeps the electricity clean from noise. Then you have huge UPS backups for any split-second power flicker. After that, you've got dedicated power conditioners. And finally, massive generators that can keep the whole thing running pretty much forever. The goal is simple. The show never, ever goes dark. So we've talked about all this amazing invisible engineering, but what about the people who have to actually work in this high-stress environment? Well, the design also has to be laser-focused on the human interface. That means the physical layout, all the safety protocols, and the really strict rules of the road for being in that space. And this right here, this quote just nails it. A broadcast studio isn't just one thing. It's a creative production facility, it's a super reliable IT data center, and it's a meticulous precision laboratory, all fused together into one high-performance machine. And because it's such a complex mashup, it's governed by this dense web of safety rules and regulations. You've got to think about everything from clear emergency exits to fire suppression systems that, won't destroy millions of dollars of electronics to incredibly strict electrical safety. And then, on top of all that, you have to comply with rules from bodies like the FCC, OSHA, and the ADA. It's a lot. So, let's bring it all home with a question for you, especially if you're coming from the IT world. When you look at all this, which of these extreme requirements seems like total overkill? The instant failover cooling, the complete RF shielding, the layers upon layers of backup power? And on the flip side, what parts feel totally familiar? I'm guessing that obsession with uptime and having to deal with all the compliance rules, that probably feels right at home, doesn't it? It's that fascinating blend that really defines the modern broadcast studio environment.